Please rise and salute the flag. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Good morning and welcome to RPtv. Today is Thursday, February 13th, 2020. In recognition of Black History Month, we direct our attention to a man who became an outstanding member of the United States Supreme Court. Michelle has that report.
Marshall Thurgood was a U.S. lawyer and an associate justice for the Supreme Court. He received his law degree from Howard University in 1933. In 1936, he joined the legal staff of the National Association for the Advancement of Colored People. As its chief counsel, he argued more than 30 cases before the U.S. Supreme Court, successfully challenging racial segregation, most notably in higher education. His presentation of the argument against the separate but equal doctrine achieved its greatest impact with the landmark decision handed down in Brown v. Board of Education of Topeka. His appointment to the U.S. Court of Appeals in 1961 was opposed by some Southern senators and was not confirmed until 1962. President Lyndon B. Johnson appointed him to the Supreme Court 2 years later. He was the first African American to sit on the High Court, where he consistently supported the position taken by those challenging discrimination based on race or sex, opposed the death penalty, and supported the rights of criminal defendants. His support for affirmative action led to a strong dissent of regents of the University of California v. Bakke, as appointments by Presidents Nixon and Reagan changed the outlook of the court. Marshall found himself increasingly in the minority.
No matter where you go or what you do, you always have to be on the lookout for those who will try to take advantage of you. Caitlin has that report.
A Morris Township woman has been scammed out of $80,000 through a phone call from someone pretending to be an Apple employee. Shortly before receiving the call, the woman was sent a scam email that claimed someone was trying to hack into her Apple account. This made the scam more believable to her when the supposed Apple employee offered her a malware protection program as long as she provided him with details to her banking account. By the end of the week, her account had been drained, and the scammer used the woman's information to open new lines of credit under her name. Once the woman's bank account began issuing fraud alerts and advising the woman to close her accounts, did she realize she was a victim, authorities said. Older people are frequent targets for these types of scams because their savings levels and lack of digital savvy. Although the scam was not super sophisticated, other scammers fake the voices of grandchildren to tug on their victims' heartstrings. They're the people to save their money to make sure they have it for family members in case of emergencies, so they're giving people to begin with, and scammers know who to target.
Now it's time for the announcements. The bowling team is celebrating the end of their season with a merchandise sale. Please see any member of the bowling team or Mr. Fucci if you are interested in purchasing a t-shirt, a hoodie, or a long-sleeve shirt. Order forms can also be found on the school's website. Art Club and National Art Honor Society will be meeting Fridays after school in room 102 during the school year. We are working on projects and sometimes exploring new media. Join us. Also, our club and NAHS are collecting real or made-up recipes connecting to community, culture, or connections. These can be any size, handwritten, and decorated, and will be sent to a program associated with the Bezos Family Foundation. For every recipe submitted, $3 will be donated to organizations providing food to undernourished people around the world. Please help. See Ms. Scuccio for further information and supplies. Anime Club, meeting Thursday, February 13th after school in room 105. We will meet to work on preparing for the anime night. It is very important that all members attend. Breakfast program. Start your day the right way. Our school offers a breakfast program available in the cafeteria starting at 7:10 a.m. Full price is $1.85 and reduced is 30 cents. Breakfast has many benefits for our students. Take advantage of our breakfast program. Class of 2021. Give us your input about this year's Class of 2021 field trip. Please check your email to get the link. Red Bull versus Atlanta on Saturday, May 16th at 1 p.m. We will depart from the high school at 11 a.m. We will need a minimum of 25 participants to run the school trip and need a commitment so we do not lose our deposit. The cost is $25 per person. If you have any questions, please see Ms. Hernandez or Ms. Kowalski. Valentine's Day Carnation Sale. We will be selling carnations for Valentine's Day during lunches this week for Valentine's Day. Show someone you care about and send them a red or hot pink carnation. Carnations will be delivered during Homeroom Friday, February 14th. Pre-order your carnation for $2 during lunch. Thank you for supporting the Class of 2021. Junior Gala. Attention juniors, Gala bids are now on sale. If you need a packet, you may pick up one from Ms. Kowalski in room 7. Gala will be held at the Westwood in Garwood on Thursday, February 27th. All bids and payments are due no later than February 13th. Parents and students are invited to attend a college planning night scheduled for Thursday, February 20th at 7 p.m. in the RPHS cafeteria. The presentation will cover the college search and application process. This event is open to all RPHS families. However, junior students and parents are highly encouraged to attend. Be sweet like candy on Valentine's Day. Join Class of 2022 as we celebrate and love in the sweetest way for $2 a bag. From February 11th to the 14th. Order during lunch and enjoy it with others. Wands for Wildlife. Recycle and save wildlife. The Ecology Club is collecting old mascara wands. The wands will be donated to a wildlife rehabilitation nonprofit refuge who uses the old mascara wands to help remove fly eggs and larvae from the fur of animals. They work great because the bristles are close together and gentle to use on injured and orphaned wild animals receiving care. You can help save wild lives. Drop off all mascara wands in room 110. Although tomorrow is Valentine's Day, it is not always a happy occasion for some people. But this year, a couple of zoos in Texas are trying to put a smile on their faces. Michelle has the details.
Are you not feeling loved as Valentine's Day nears? These 2 zoos in Texas will help you honor your ex on this Valentine's Day in a cruel but a satisfying way. The San Antonio Zoo and the El Paso Zoo are running campaigns through Valentine's Day to dedicate a cockroach after an ex and then is fed to an animal. The San Antonio's event costs $5 per roach, while the event is free in the El Paso Zoo. You don't have to live in either of the cities to see this event. The zoos are offering the people to see the events taking action on their social media streams. It is El Paso Zoo's 2nd year hosting this event, and the director of the zoo, Joe Montesano, said he will eat a cockroach for every $1,000 raised in donations. Meanwhile, the San Antonio Zoo has an upgrade for the ratty of exes. They'll feed a rat to a reptile for $20. Submissions are open for San Antonio's cockroach naming through today, and of El Paso's runs through Saturday.
Stay tuned, we'll be right back.
Are you interested in working behind the scenes or on stage? Then RPtv is the class for you.
If you enjoy being in the spotlight, you can be a host or a reporter. But if you're more interested in the behind the scenes type of stuff, you can do camera, sound, teleprompter, or graphics.
As you can see, Mr. Dawson and Miss Gutro's class is full of amazing opportunities and activities for anyone and everyone.
If you are interested in being in RPtv, talk to Mr. Dawson or Miss Gutro and your guidance counselor.
We hope you join our team.
Thank you for watching. Have a great day and stay tuned for CNN 10.
The results from New Hampshire are in, and they're our first topic today on CNN 10. I'm Carl Azus. Wherever in the world you're watching, thank you. Here's what happened on Tuesday night in the Granite State. Senator Bernie Sanders came out on top in the Democratic primary. The lawmaker from Vermont received 25.8% of the vote, followed by Pete Buttigieg, a former mayor of South Bend, Indiana, who got 24.5%. Senator Amy Klobuchar, who represents Minnesota, came in third with 19.8%. Senator Elizabeth Warren of Massachusetts and former Vice President Joe Biden rounded out the top five, though they didn't win any pledged delegates. And that's really the name of the game here. Whoever wins a majority of delegates through these state primaries and caucuses is likely to become a party's nominee for president. So far, Senator Sanders and former Mayor Buttigieg lead in the Democratic delegate count, but the Iowa caucuses and New Hampshire primaries are only the first two contests. There's still a long way to go. After the results from New Hampshire came in, a few Democrats left the race. Senator Michael Bennet of Colorado, businessman Andrew Yang, and former Massachusetts Governor Deval Patrick all suspended their campaigns. They just weren't getting the votes they needed to stay in. So now there are 8 Democrats still in the race, and the next contest for them will be a caucus on February 22nd in Nevada. On the other side of the political aisle, there's one candidate, former Massachusetts Governor Bill Weld, who's challenging incumbent President Donald Trump for the Republican nomination. Former U.S. Representative Joe Walsh of Illinois suspended his campaign after the Iowa caucuses last week. But in New Hampshire, like in Iowa, President Trump easily won, getting around 85.8% of the vote there. The next contests for Republicans take place in several states on Super Tuesday, March 3rd. 10-second trivia. Which of these African countries has the most official languages? South Africa, Egypt, Libya, or Nigeria? With 11 official languages, including Zulu, Afrikaans, and English, South Africa has the most on this list. According to the World Wildlife Fund, a conservation group, South Africa is one of the 4 main countries in Africa where you can still find rhinoceroses. All but one species of these animals are endangered. Thousands of them have been poached, illegally hunted because their horns are used in traditional Asian medicine. Even the sanctuaries that are designed to protect and preserve rhinos are under threat, but they have a new weapon in the fight against poaching, and believe it or not, it's a type of meerkat.
I first saw a rhino when I was probably 6-7 years old in the Kruger National Park, and then I knew I wanted to protect rhinos. To be leading a project that protects so many rhinos, and he's so successful in doing that, no, it's an absolute privilege. I can't ask for more.
We are building a smart park based on technology that enables our rangers to be able to secure the area without many of us who might be tourists even realizing what is happening. The postcode meerkat was a world first. If it is a specific time, there are people in the park who have not used the gate, our system will be able to pick those up.
It's difficult to find a person out there in 2 million hectares. It's like finding a needle in a stack of needles and then getting to him and catching him. And people think, well, that's easy. It's not easy. What the meerkat has effectively done since its first deployment into these parts of Kruger has decreased poaching by up to 95%. Every day that meerkat is working, we are saving rhinos.
Technology makes things possible, but people makes things happen. It can't replace people, but it can make it much easier for the people to do their job. It's also exciting to start using technology in a useful way, because often we feel that we do technology for the sake of technology, but now we're actually doing technology for the sake of saving a species. You need to be able to sense, then you need to make sense of what you're sensing, and the third thing is you need to be able to respond to that.
These systems all need to talk to each other. The boundary detection system alerts the meerkat alerts the rangers, and alerts the helicopter, the reaction crew, gets the aircraft airborne to transfer the acquisition of the poachers over to the aircraft.
People come from all over the world to come and see the wildlife in Africa. If we are not able to conserve that, that means those people will not come here. A keystone species such as the rhino will be there for my young ones to appreciate as well. Maybe even the next generations that follows them.
We enter a new era of conservation where various forms of technology enable us to secure bigger areas and orientate better to what we need to do.
Avocados, kale, and now mushrooms. The fungi are increasing in demand, price, and production. In fact, the American Mushroom Institute says the U.S. is producing more mushrooms per month than it ever has before. The industry trade group credits the increasing popularity of plant-based diets for the mushrooming changes, but they're not just for salads. Mushrooms can be used to make everything from furniture to clothing to shipping materials. Mycelium foam, like what's made by a company called Ecovative, isn't always the most cost-effective option for shipping, but it is changing the way some people think about mushrooms.
Since the 1950s, humans have produced over 9 billion tons of plastic. Most of that is ending up in landfills and could take centuries to decompose. A miracle material found in nature could be the key to reducing plastic waste. It's called mycelium, and it comes from mushrooms.
Mycelium is like the root structure of a mushroom. You're used to seeing a mushroom above ground. Mycelium is like the roots beneath it. But no one had ever tried to use them to make materials.
Eben Bayer is the CEO of Ecovative, a company that has developed a way to grow mycelium into specific shapes and sizes. They start by taking organic plant waste and mixing it with mycelium cells, which act as a sort of natural glue.
The mycelium grows through and around those particles, and it binds them together, and you've got a grown product.
Ecovative's mycelium products provide a natural alternative to packaging materials made out of plastic and styrofoam.
But at the end of its useful life, you can actually break it up and you can put it in your own garden. So it's a nutrient, not a pollutant.
Ecovative wants to take mycelium to the next level.
Our current technical focus is developing the next generation of mycelium materials, from cell scaffolding to leather-like materials to even meat replacements.
AKA mycelium bacon, which is still in its testing phases. The company thinks mycelium could also play a major role in construction and even in regenerative medicine.
It really has boundless possibilities, and it comes from its ability to move from the micro scale to the macro scale.
time to turn up the radio to CNN 10 because scientists say they've detected some mysterious radio signals from outer space. Radio signals are nothing new, but what was picked up by a radio telescope in Western Canada is a pattern of these signals that repeats every 16 days. Scientists don't know why. They think it's coming from a galaxy that's about 500 million light years away, so like outside our neighborhood, and that it could be coming from a star. Well, of course, all radio hits come from stars. It's not really transforming information. You just need to have the capacitor to keep your antennas out and tune in to whatever's dialed up and amplified across the universe, and you'll not be disappointed in what's speakering to your earphones. Radio puns, they're ear transistable, y'all. I'm Carl Azus. Timberland High School is listening today. Shout out to our viewers in St. Stephen, South Carolina. Though I don't personally pick the schools we mention, on Friday I'll be giving a tip on how they're chosen to subscribers of our official YouTube channel. That's all for CNN.